judgment here, just a friendly ear. Tune in every day, bring your worries near. Life count show, let the heartbeats flow. With AD we heal and grow. Life on the couch with AD. Talk it all out, set your mind free. Life on the couch, stories we share. Fades there.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Life Couch with Fady. Here we talk about life issues, things that happen to everyone. But a lot of times, people don't talk about these things. Here we'll discuss, various issues, and we hope that you're able to pick one or two things. Totally our opinion, no expert advice or anything, but hopefully you're able to learn. Today, we're talking about marriage. Is it a do or die affair? Or are you pro-marriage or against marriage? I have two intriguing ladies here, very beautiful ladies. And I'll allow them introduce themselves. Samira, do you want to go?
Let me see, should start.
Okay, Yemisi, go.
My name is Yemisi. Okay, so how do I introduce myself? A woman, obviously. But anyway, I'm a finance professional. I'm a regulator in the financial industry. That's what I've done for almost all of my life as a career woman. I enjoy it. I don't think I'll do anything else. It's kept me busy for a long time. I think for most of the things that I've been able to achieve, it's mostly because that's probably been like my priority over the years, like building my career, having a name for myself. I've always said that for people who are not trust fund babies, right? The only thing you have going into life is your education and your career, and so I take that very seriously. Your hustle. Yeah. So yeah, that's me.
All right, then there's a name I call her. I call her Efiko. Those bookworms. Okay, Samira, do you want to introduce yourself?
So my name is Samira Munge. I'm an IT professional, precisely in the project management field. We manage software development projects. I'm also an entrepreneur, founder of Elite E-Ventures and Elite Beauty Empire. And the goal for these two companies is all about empowering people to be the best versions of themselves and understanding that there's no limits to what a person can achieve. So I leverage tech to help people improve their careers and bring more visibility to their businesses and just automate their processes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm very passionate about business and tech.
Oh, nice.
And I'm glad to be here.
Wow. I should tell a story about when I met Samira. She was heavily pregnant. And I think you gave birth the next month. She delivered her baby the next month, and she stayed 2 days with me on set. I kept checking on her. I hope you're okay. And she was like, don't worry. I was like, this lady is strong and hardworking. Anyways, we'll go to the meat of the matter. Samira, are you married?
Yes, I'm married.
How long have you been? So tell us about your marriage. How did you meet? What happened? Just in a short story.
Well, I'm married, and thank God we have 4 kids. We've been married for about 13 years.
Nice.
How we met? We met in my neighborhood. Yeah, my husband was running his small business close to my house, and I happened to be his client. And after some time, we got talking, and then I don't know, I just realized.
So from work.
Yeah. definitely had to start from somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So that's how we met.
And how has marriage been?
It's been rewarding. It's been worth it. Yeah.
You know, we have good marriages out there. You know, because of some things we hear these days. I hear people say, "Oh, will I ever marry you? Hey, I don't want to marry you." You know, but we have good marriages out there. Yamisi, are you married?
No.
Okay. Do you mind sharing your age?
I am 41.
Okay.
Yeah. So never been married, no kids.
Okay.
I sort of am in a relationship.
Okay. So when you say sort of, I am scared. Are you in a relationship?
I am. I mean, by every definition, I'm in a relationship.
Oh,
I have
nice.
like a
Nice.
significant other, but I'm not married, and and I usually say I'm single until I'm married.
Get
so I'm
married.
single.
Yeah. So, I'll just ask this because I know definitely. Have you had previous relationships?
Do you want me to count them like the number of heartbreaks or
Breakfast.
breakfast? But
Okay.
yes, I've been in relationship.
Oh, what? Okay. Obviously they all did not end in marriage, but did you have it in mind to get married at the time?
Yes, so I would say that up until I was about 35, I would typically be in a relationship with the mindset that this is going to lead to marriage. So I can probably count the number of relationships I've had on just one hand. I probably won't exhaust all my fingers because I've always had that mindset that you go into a relationship, there has to be like an end game to it.
Yeah.
If you ask me if that has changed now, yes, it has. Because I think also understanding that it doesn't have to end up in marriage it's a big deal for
Wow.
anybody that is single. So you're allowed to date, enjoy yourself,
Please listen.
meet people, right? It doesn't have to end in marriage.
Marriage.
Sometimes you just you make good relationships that way. You network that way. You meet other people that are pivotal to your life
Yeah.
and where you're going to. So it's yes, I don't believe in casual relationships, right? But I believe that you should have an open mind.
Yeah.
And the reason why you're going into is to understand and know the person. So what if you know the person and that person is not for you, right? What happens, right? So yes, so yeah, so it
That
has
has
changed
been-
now, yes.
That's actually a very strong thing to do because it's not easy, right? So what made you change around that age, at that age of 35 to say, okay, I'll be open if it ends in marriage, fine. If not, then fine.
So before then, I went through a terrible heartache. Like, that's probably the person that made me cry the most in my life,
Wow.
right? And in fact, if you are looking for, if you are looking for the formula to dropping 2 size dresses down,
Wow.
like
I can relate.
people will be like, "You look so snatched." I'm like, "Oh, little do you know, it's not the snatching." But anyway, so prior to then, and I felt like I was blindsided. I didn't see it coming. I felt that in some ways I felt used, right? So for a very long time, it was just me healing and healing and healing, and then I carried that bitterness for a very long time.
Wow.
But I mean,
Did you destroy men?
no, but it was just a matter of I don't even want to, I'm not
do
interested.
anything.
But around that 35-ish age, I think it was an encounter I had. Funny enough, it was church, and it had nothing to do with the relationship. It was just about letting go for yourself. And after that message, I found myself shaking for some reason. I thought, so what had happened was, I thought I had healed, but I had suppressed a lot of things. And so those emotions came. And I'm like, why did I allow one person
Do this to you.
do this to me? this person has even moved on, probably on their third or fourth child or something. Why am I still this way years
Yeah.
after? So I made a decision that it's not worth it. I'm never going to be in that position anymore. And I need to start living my life.
Yeah.
So it was more like a deliverance for myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that happened in church. That's actually good. So, Samira, have you ever been served breakfast?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
By who?
My husband.
Okay. You guys broke up and made up?
No, breakfast in bed.
All right. Oh, okay. So, Yemisi, how do you respond to when people ask you about marriage? Like, when are you getting? You know how people do now.
Interesting question. So I think how people react to you about your situation is how you present yourself and how you're handling yourself to them. So, of course, a lot of people come from a place of love and they cannot understand why it still hasn't happened. Like, you are doing well for yourself. You're just a generally nice person. It's not as if you're wicked or something and you're a good girl. I put that in quotes because that's relative.
Yeah.
So they're like, why, right? But over the years, I've seen how their attitude has changed because I've just made it known to them that, see, it's one of the things that happen in life, but one out of a million other things that happen.
I know.
So I've been through other battles, right? I've come out of it. I've done a few things in myself, like without help and everything. You did not ask me
About those ones.
Why is it this particular one, right? I think for me, the main people that I think I owe an explanation to would be my parents, right? But there was a day I also had a conversation with my mother because it then became like she saw it as a failure on her part that her first daughter was unmarried. So it was more like, see, I'm okay. I'm happy, I'm content. I really don't think about this because I don't think it's an issue, right? So I think you should also free yourself from that burden.
Yeah.
It's not a failure on your part. Think about the other things you've prayed to God about and He has answered. He's not selective in His hearing. So if He has chosen not to answer this one, He has a reason. And it's not because you've done something right or wrong. So how about focus on the things He has done and thank Him for it and understand that even this one is for a purpose.
Yeah.
Right? So don't worry about it. So since then, I said, and anytime you feel compelled to ask me, don't ask. Just pray about it.
That is such a good thing.
It wasn't easy for her to take, but over the years, I've seen those questions like just slow down. Like, I don't need that pressure from you. I'm fine. So she'll just say, anyway, Sha, please just let me know. If anything changes, let me know. I'm like, I will let you know. I mean, what you want to hear is, okay, I will. But so even when I've been in relationships, I try to shield them away from that. Right.
To manage expectations.
To manage expectations. I don't, I keep it very private.
Yeah, I understand that. So, Samira, how has marriage been? And I want you to give us benefits of marriage. Because you've been there. What do you think are the benefits?
Well, I'll speak for myself.
Of course, it's your opinion.
Yeah, totally my opinion. For me, I feel marriage helps you not only grow emotionally, marriage gives you some form of stability, companionship, somebody to navigate through life with. I mean, two is better than one sometimes, but it depends. It has to be the right person. Because if this person is not rowing the boat and this person is putting holes in your boat, there's no point.
Sure.
So, I mean, with the right person, I'll consider my husband was the right person for me. I never thought he was. I mean, there's moments in your marriage where you ask yourself, like, what is this? Is this really what I want? Is this really what I want for my life? But then I came to realize that God has a way of doing things. God is going to give you what you need, not what you want.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, I did.
So marriage for me has been very rewarding. And low key, I kind of sometimes say, I just murmur it to myself and say, marriage, I think, saved me.
From just saved your life.
It saved me. I can't really pinpoint on one thing, but overall, I feel like marriage made me. I don't know what I would have been without marriage, and I'm not talking about in terms of what you get to accomplish as a person.
Okay. I was
or
going
what
to
you
ask
get-
that as
no,
the
no,
next
no.
question.
No, because my definition of success is beyond that. It's beyond wealth, the things you achieve. It's what you become in the process of getting to that destination. Because you see people aspire for greater heights and then they reach at some point and then they just give up on life. Purpose. My existence is tied down to purpose. So being with my husband, building a family, having something that it gives me meaning, it gives me purpose, and it makes me be a better person, being able to give out to other people. You can't give from an empty cup, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I view
Yeah.
it.
Such good points. Okay. So, like I said, I was going to ask, do you think, so I know you, I know some things that you do you think you would have been able to accomplish these things if you were single right now? Do you think it would have been the same thing or would your journey have been different?
I mean, nobody is God, but I feel I would have still given it my best based on the kind of person I am. But again, back to what I said, it's about the person I am while accomplishing these things. Yes, I think I would have still probably accomplished those things, maybe done better,
Maybe
but I
better.
won't be the same person. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Just
won't have the
'cause-
same sense of purpose as I do right now.
And marriage, kind of brought that to you.
Yes, yes.
So, Yemisi, do you think, I know you've accomplished a few things. Do you think with marriage, you'd have gone farther? Or do you think with marriage, you won't have gone this far?
Interesting. I say interesting because I feel that maybe it not necessarily that I would have gone further or not as much as I have, but I probably think that it would have taken a different course, right? I would probably not. I would have followed another direction if it was marriage, and I'm saying this from a time in my life where that was like everything I just wanted to do, right? And but I would also say that not being in that type of level of commitment, right, has also in some ways been freeing in the sense that I don't need to consult anybody. Don't get me wrong, I share my thoughts with people that I value their opinions, right? And I consider other opinions sometimes. But what I mean is, I have friends who can take steps without, and it's not necessarily because their husbands are controlling. That's not what I'm saying. But two have become one. And so some decisions that would impact the family unit, you need to let your partner know.
Definitely.
And they have to be on board with you. So the challenge comes when they are not on board, right? So yes, so
And then you can't move forward.
and you can't, right? So for me, I've not had that issue because I think
You do it.
I do.
And that's the thing. I won't lie. Sometimes I wish I didn't have to consult someone. I'll just do it. If I make my mistake, I'll go back and do it again. And sometimes it stalls you because you have to, consult someone, get their taking. What do you think about this, Amira?
In terms of having somebody to talk to, having somebody to consult with, for me, I think it's a plus. Because I'm somebody that when I think about something, trust me, I'm more of an executionist. I just want to do it. So having my husband with me, I kind of have somebody to
Caution.
run through these things and give me other angles to it, give me other perspectives to it. Does it affect how I'm gonna? It could affect it. But when you have somebody you trust and that you believe has your best interest, you feel safe with, you can truly express what your ambitions are, what your desires are, without fear of reproach, without fear of judgment, and just trust that this person is going to respond to you from a place of honesty and from a place of wanting to see you grow for your best interest.
It's always because I'm also like you. I want to do something, go, 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 go. But when there's someone that says, hold on, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this, right? It helps you to, so do you like kids?
Is
Let me
that
see.
me?
Yeah.
This is a very funny question because so I always joke with my friends that have children, and I also have a nephew. Shout out to my brother if he gets to see this video. Thank you for making our parents, grandparents, and for reducing the burden and the pressure.
Pressure.
So, but anyway, but I find that um, it's not a burning desire. Okay, so I hope I don't get it trouble what I'm saying, but it's not a burning desire, right? It's if I get married, if my doctor says it's safe for me, no worries. But do I need to? Do I have? Not necessarily. Because also there's more to life than being a wife and a mother.
Say that again.
You are you first. And you don't have to have biological children to be a parent.
Good point.
So if it doesn't happen biologically,
Yeah.
it can happen in other ways.
Yes.
It happens in the lives you impact, the people you touch. Like there's so many ways you can fulfill purpose, right? So does it have to be through me having a baby and going through if God says, who am I to say no? But yes, but that's not going to be like a factor for me for anything.
I think that kind of helps you also to have peace because if you're like, if you had said yes, I was going to say, okay, would you, because of that, get married to anyone? Or, because kids, some people really love kids and they want kids. Like you said, it can happen anyway. You can even adopt, right? There are ways. Samira, do you love kids?
Yes, I love kids.
Has having kids changed anything for you?
It's taught me patience. It's helped me explore parts of me I never knew existed.
Wow.
Over time, I started having kids, and then I got to appreciate them even more while raising them. So, yeah, I love kids.
Did they change your marriage in any way? Maybe how you you guys relate? I mean, you and your husband and stuff.
I think it did.
I'm just going to say something. There's somebody I met. She has a child. And she was like, if I had known it was this wahala, I don't know. I could have just, not stayed. But don't get me wrong. I love my daughter. But it's just too much, Do you feel that way?
If it's too much.
Or do you feel like...
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking because before we got married, I remember telling my husband, I don't think I want to have kids. Sometimes you don't know. Life changes you. Things happen.
Yeah.
I remember I said, oh, marriage is not for me. I'm all going to be all about my business, traveling the world, all of those things. And then I said, I don't think I want to raise kids and the rest. And surprisingly, I was blessed with my first kids were twin boys.
Very
and I remember looking at them in the
handsome
hospital like, wow, so what next? Who's in charge of this?
Who's in charge?
Who's going to handle all this? Like, God, I was like, okay, let me try one baby. Now you sent two. Who's going to take care of this? And God doesn't give you what you can't handle. Yeah, God doesn't give you what you can't handle. I went on to have two other kids in addition to that. And I don't know how, but we make it work. We make it work. My husband makes raising kids look like a walk in the park. I have to give it to him, honestly. He does.
That's a good story. At least I met you when you were pregnant with your last.
Yeah, and I don't see kids as any barriers. I don't. I rather draw inspiration and motivation. I'm trying to leave a legacy for my kids. I'm trying to show them that there's nothing that should stop you from going for your dreams. You can have it all. You truly can.
Let me see. I know that you didn't choose not to marry.
No.
But there are people out there who were like, I don't want to marry. I just want to be. I'll adopt if I want kids. Or maybe get a sperm donor, and things. Do you think it's anti-Christian faith to choose not to marry? Because the Bible says, multiply, you be fruitful, multiply, you live and cleave, all those things.
Yeah. But yes, but I also, so I'll probably be paraphrasing this scripture, is where, was it Paul that was saying that if you can, so it's, the Bible also recognizes that there are people that are like, should I say, called into singlehood, and but it takes a high level of discipline to live the single
Tell me
life.
about it.
It takes a high level. If, of course, I'm saying this from the perspective of a believer, right? So it may be a different story for someone who isn't. So all I'm saying is that I don't think it's anti-Christianity to say you don't want to, but understand why. So because for everything, you should know what's your why, right? What's the motivation? What's the driver behind this decision? Why don't you? Is it, if you are saying it's out of I've given up because I've gone through a lot of heartbreak and all that, but you're still hearing it, you're not being true to yourself. So I think at the end of the day, do you? Right, but whatever it is you are doing, whether you are single or Christian, as long as you are living a life of purpose, like I always say, I think I'm at that point where I'm like, what's the point of everything? Okay, so even you get married, you have children, you have that fantastic house, and then what?
What?
So there's always so do you at every stage you are in life,
Yeah.
and if you think that you just cannot handle being married, do it the right way. Because I used to have a boss that, interesting man, he was good at his job, but he was just somebody who had never married, and but he was representing on the streets. Like he's gotten older now, he's still doing that, and you look at him.
Is he married now?
He's not, and you're like, he has a lot of properties, everything's very nice, man, but it's cute when you're in your 30s and you're just living a single life, right, and doing all of that, but when you're like in your 50s, looking at your 60s, and I see it's not a good look, right? So my point is, if you choose to be single, know why you're doing it and live right. Do it the way you should do it. If you choose to be married, what's your why? It can't be because I want to have children. It should not even be because of sex either,
At all.
right? I picked a lot of points from what she has been saying, and one thing she has always said after everything is, her husband has been a nice person. So it's also who you are doing it with.
Yeah,
right?
that's important. Finding the right person. And I have said this on other episodes. Sometimes getting to know yourself helps you to even pick somebody that will complement you in life, right? We also discussed that some people get married before they know themselves. But then you still have that life to find yourself. You do it with your partner. Like you said, you have somebody who's rowing the boat, not punching holes in them. What do you think about this? Being, is it anti-Christian to say, I choose not to marry? Or do you think God will frown on that?
No, absolutely not. Like, marriage is not for everybody, and that's okay. I mean, marriage is not an achievement on its own. It's just, sometimes I look at it like a lottery. You don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
Nobody gets into marriage hoping to end up in a divorce. It's like you give it a try. It might work, it might not work. But you don't have to kill yourself over it. If it's not working,
Then fine.
yeah, there are other ways. I'll just give a little story about my mom, because my mom grew up in the palace. She's from the royal family, and many wives, many children around, and the girls were always married off as some form of, I don't know, establishing ties, getting money for dowries, and she had her sister, she had a stepsister, she grew up in a big family. But for some reason, my grandma decided, my grandma and my aunt had to plead, because my mom was like, no, she doesn't want this life. She doesn't want to be married off to an older person. She just felt within her that her purpose was different. And my grandma had to plead with the chief to preserve my mom for her not to be sent into marriage. So while the guys went to school, the girls were married off, but my mom wanted to go to school. So till date, my mom is like a beacon of hope to young girls back in her community to say, you can choose the life you want for yourself. She went on to get an education for herself, start up NGOs. For me, when I look at my mom as a single mother, I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for her. And I feel like I kind of tapped into some of her qualities. So mentally for me, I don't think like a man, you need a man you need to be
To
you
accomplish
first.
or yeah.
You need to be you first. You need to be happy on your own. Marriage is not going to bring you happiness.
Sure.
Marriage won't do that. You have to be you. You have to understand what you represent. You need to heal yourself, heal your inner child, whatever traumas you have unhealed.
Yeah.
Fix them. Don't think marriage is going to fix those
Fix
things.
them.
You could be lucky to fix them within your marriage, or sometimes people's marriages break apart and then they find themselves and maybe they come back to the same person or they move on to other people. But if you don't heal these things, you're going to leave this other marriage, get into another marriage, and that's why you see people breaking up, get into divorcing and divorcing. It's more like an inner work. It's a personal thing.
Yeah, it's a you thing.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I'm going to ask this question. Yemisi, do you get, oh, you say you're in a relationship, but anyways, do you get sexual urges?
If I didn't, then I'll be dead.
Like that.
I mean, so I have blood running through my veins.
I know, right?
So, yeah, short answer to your question is
Yes. So how do you manage them?
So
I don't know if you just got into this relationship, but you know, when you were single, or I don't know.
I mean, I think it's still the same approach, like,
Thing.
right? Because for some reason, I'm always like doing long distance.
Okay.
Probably one of the reasons why I'm still single. But anyway, so if and this you learn over time, right? That moment is going to pass, right? And so you probably don't want to take any decisions
At that time.
at that time.
So you
and then
delay gratification, kind of
I
thing?
think, well, they said that a lot of Christians suppress their
Urges?
urges. So I'm not an expert on this, but I would say what works for me is more like it's just at that time finding a distraction. Right, it happens, but it's not the end of the world. Certainly not the beginning of the world as well.
And it's a phase, it'll pass.
Yeah. So for me, I think personally, what I think I yearn for more than sex is intimacy in terms of somebody who I'm sharing my deep thoughts with. I'm also like I'm a cuddler, so just somebody that I'm just holding, or is just holding me. It doesn't
have to be anything.
Exactly. So those are the things that I kind of miss when I'm not in a relationship, like that level of
Yeah,
intimacy.
yeah.
more than-
Intimacy isn't only sex. You know, just like you said, you're talking, things, conversations. I had someone here and she was like, when I'm having deep conversations with you, that's intimacy for me, and stuff. So, Samira, we have a lot of young ladies out there who want to get married. But because of this, Me Too rave, women empowerment and things like that, I would call it toxic femininity sometimes. 'Cause before they come for me, the toxic one, women are strong and you can do stuff. But when it gets, negative, that's what I'm talking about. How would you advise them, to still go for what they want? How would you advise them to strike a balance?
Okay, that's a nice one. I like how you coined it as toxic femininity. Yeah, because there's definitely femininity that's toxic. My belief is feminism isn't an anti-men agenda. If you're taking it from that angle, then you've missed the whole point.
Yep.
I don't have to tear you down to build myself.
Sure.
Be it as a woman or as a man. Like, it's just having access to equal opportunities. There's so many different ways the world is experiencing inequalities. I lived in UAE, precisely Dubai, for about 8 years, and there's things that people are fighting for that are worth it. Like, people don't have the rights to go to school, people don't have the rights to even drive, have the rights to work. They need permission from a man to do those things. So those are some of the things that the system is trying to fight. Women don't have the right to own land. There's like serious issues. It's not about going on the internet and talking about, oh, boss lady, I don't need a man. No. We run an NGO called Gabeda, and it's called Gender Action for Better Environment and Development Access. And surprisingly enough, based on the name called Gender Action, you would think we're going to be out there with placards, castigating men. But one of our projects that we handled, one of our first projects was mass marriage legalization. We did this back in my country, where we had couples cohabiting, and for different reasons, they weren't able to have a proper marriage or own a marriage certificate. They don't understand what their rights are within the marriage. They don't understand what the benefits of marriage is. They don't even know that their kids are not covered. So we had to do counseling with these couples, talk to the men, talk to the women, counsel the children as well, cover some of the financial and legal aspects that may be too complicated for them to achieve. So we did it on the traditional level and as well as the civil. We got the chiefs presence. We got their, like everything you have to do to everything that is necessary for a marriage to be established.
Okay.
So the reason I'm sharing this is to say you don't have to be against the men to feel empowered. On the contrary, you don't come take a woman and say, I'm going to empower you, I'm going to teach you the skills, I'm going to train you, you're going to be a better person, and you're taking her out of her marital home, or you're taking her out of her space, where she has been. You start by, we need the men on board. We don't need to fight the men. We need our men to understand what our struggles are, and in that way they can be able to better support us or better listen to us and help us thrive.
Yeah.
We just don't want relationships where people are surviving or marriages are surviving. We want marriages to thrive. We want the men to be happy. We want the women to be happy, and we want their children to see examples of, thriving, a healthy relationship. So toxic femininity, no, I don't subscribe for that. I believe in unity. If it doesn't work out, okay, fine, but at least let the base be right.
Yeah. So it's empowering the women where they are.
Yes.
And getting their husbands aboard.
Yes.
To support them.
And the kids as well. The youths, getting the boy child to know, okay, you can share in the chores. It doesn't have to be your sister alone. Your sister doesn't have to go to the farm only.
Do that from the young age.
Yes, you can share the chores. Everybody has a right to education. Everybody has a right to an opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody has a right to own something, Yeah.
Yeah, Missy. There's so many people out there who are about your age and they worry. Some are not even your age. At least I know a few people. And I know that it weighs them down. Do you have something to tell them?
Like we've been saying all day, do you know your why, right? Understand that there's so much more in this life beyond your status, your marital. It's just a field in a form. At the end of the day,
I know.
right?
Right? Literally.
So, there's so much. So the thing is, don't pause your life. Leave. Take opportunities. Both sides. I mean, we've heard from her. You heard from me today how she's pinpointed the benefits she has seen, how it has made her better, right?
Yeah.
So yes, but if you desire it
While you
before
wait.
it happens, live your life. Know you, discover who you are.
Yeah.
What do you like? What are your interests? What are your deal breakers? Right? If you do that, in some ways, it helps you not even settle. I could write a book about friends who got married in their 30s, and from the fear of not wanting to be single anymore, settled. And I'm not talking about, so this is not about, it has to be rich. That's not, that's,
I
if you
understand.
If
There are more values than that.
if you've achieved as a person, those things become very irrelevant. I have my money. I don't need your money. It's not about that.
Yeah.
But that's not what I mean. But in terms of values, are your principles aligned? I say one thing and people laugh at me. If I have a conversation with you and something as simple as we're driving together in the car, and then we get to the stoplight, and you deliberately break it. And you say, nobody was there to enforce it. Who is looking at us? That's the end for me. Because our values don't match. I've said this before, and somebody thought that I was being ridiculous. But I'm like, it's those little things. So you end up marrying a stranger. You wake up one day and like you don't even know the person you got married to. You got carried away by. So my point is, know your why, know yourself, know what you can take and cannot take.
Yeah.
Going with all the information available. You can't have all the information, but whatever is available to you, use it. Don't lose your sense.
Yeah.
And there's life before and there's life after. So if you understand that, then you will live a life of contentment. So whether you're single or whether you're married.
I hope you guys are listening. And something I really got from there, know yourself. A lot of people, some people are lucky, they get married at 20. Some are lucky 25. If you're in your 30s, find yourself. It's so important. You don't even want to go into a marriage and 2 years after you're out. No, you don't want that. So I feel like sometimes God gives you the opportunity to find who you are. And then you're able to find somebody to complement you. Somebody was saying here that you can't give what you don't have. If you know yourself, you have this self-confidence. You have God confidence and all that, but you know who you are. Like she said, you know your values. When someone comes your way and they're not for you, you will know. Those little things matter. Me, I look at how you treat other people. How do you treat the cleaner? How do you talk to your mom? How do you talk to someone you don't know? Those things are important. I want to know if this person is a kind person. And they always say, marry a kind person because marriage will be bad. There will be times that things will happen, but when someone is kind, even if you have to go your separate ways, the way you will go your separate ways.
They'll also be kind in divorce.
Yeah. So it won't be, I've seen things and you're like, oh my God, and these people were married. So in summary, if you choose not to marry, if that's what makes you happy, if you feel like, I'm not married, I want kids, go ahead and have your kids. Adopt or, get somebody to donate sperm. You don't owe anybody any story. The child is yours, And if you want to be married, right? If God brings a person for you, good. It doesn't define you. The fact that you're married doesn't mean you're better than the other person who's not married. And if you're not married, it doesn't mean that you're not a complete woman. You are still a woman, gidigba. So I tell you, a lot of people are married. You see them from the outside and they're not happy. They envy you. So do you be married because you have the right person and that's what you want to do. Okay? And if you choose not to be, that's okay too. Ladies, thank you so much for all the gems you've dropped. A final question for both of you. We'll start with Samira. In your opinion, is marriage overrated? If yes, why? If no, why?
I don't think marriage is overrated. Marriage is something beautiful. If you're lucky to have it, experience it, embrace it. If the right person comes, yes, why not? Don't put you. Nobody goes into life with a fixed mindset. Oh, this is how your future is going to be. No, life happens. Things change. You meet people. They change your perspective. Personally, when I was growing up, I always said, oh, I'm not going to get married. Like, marriage is not for me. I'm going to be very busy, traveling the world, running my businesses. As young as I was, I always said that. I said that back in school. My friends can testify. I said that at home, in my neighborhood. That was my flag. I used to always say, no, I will not marry. Because I never saw the need for marriage. I never looked at marriage as something I have to aspire to. I aspire to be me, to be a happy person, and that was it. But when I met my husband, even initially, when my husband has to marry me, this is a bit personal, but I was like, for what? Why do we have to marry? We don't need to. But my husband he had a different school of thought, and he wanted us to get married. And I remember giving him a million reasons why marriage won't work, giving him a million reasons why I am not even the person he should marry. And then there's one thing he told me. He's like, I'm not looking for a cook. I'm not looking for a cleaner. I'm not looking for somebody to have kids for me. I'm like, so what are you looking for? He's like, I'm just looking for a companion, and I feel like you can be this person I can, be with for life. I'm like, Oh, okay. Yeah, because for me, I felt like there was no fear. I wasn't scared.
That's
I wasn't
key.
thinking like,
There's peace.
yeah, I felt at peace. I'm like, this guy makes sense. Like, I think this is what I need in my life, you know. Let's see how it goes. And you know, when I told my mom, oh, mommy, I think I want to get married, she's like, what happened? I'm like, no, do you don't want marriage? Do you think you can handle it? I'm like, yeah, I think I can handle it, you know? And it was just because of the person I met that changed everything for me.
See?
And just, I never knew what the future holds for me. And still, even right now in our relationship, we don't approach it like we have everything figured out.
Yeah.
We're taking it one day at a time
Sure.
and grateful for each day that passes by. Yeah. That's
Any benefits, downsides?
any downsides of marriage? Of course, the fact that you have to consult with somebody to do certain things, and you have to, I can't just wake up and say, oh, I would love to work in this country, and I just move and just go, or I get a job in this place and I just want to move and go there. No, I'm going to have to put other things into, I'll think about my kids, think about my husband, think about family, think about our investments. You know, those things. I don't take decisions on my own. I know we're two in this
Someone.
thing. So yeah, maybe that could be a downside, but definitely the good side outweighs the bad a million times. Yeah.
And does marriage exclude you from going through life issues, other life issues? Like someone said, it's just it's just a part, it's just one aspect of your life. Like the other aspects.
Absolutely. People think when you get married, marriage is the solution to all your problems. On the contrary, once you get married, that is when the devil attacks. Right now, the devil is attacking marriages in all sorts of ways. It's attacking everybody, just that because these people have a legal agreement and they've signed some documents and they've made decisions and vows in front of the eyes of like hundreds of people, and people know that they are together. Once things are not working out and they break up, it's very evident. But marriages are plagued by all sorts of issues, mental health issues, that's one, addictions, that's another one, debt, sickness, so many things will plague you. But how do you approach this? Are you ready to stick through it? Like we say, to death do us part, or in good and in bad. Are you ready to stick through the bad, or are you just wanting to stick through the good? And then once the bad start coming, you're like, oh no, this is not for me. Oh no, I didn't sign up for this. Nobody signed up for shit. So, can you cut that part out? Like nobody signed up for the bad, but marriage is a choice. It's a conscious decision you make to be with somebody, and it's sticking to that decision and respecting the principles that come around this institution, constantly adjusting to accommodate this person that you are with, because you don't know what your partner is going to turn out to be. But are you ready? Do you have the mindset to say, okay, I'm ready to be with this person, regardless of whatever they're becoming? And it's not about you trying to make yourself happy. You are trying to make the other person happy. You're doing things. You're guided by these things I'm doing. Is this going to make this person happy? And the other person too is looking for your own good. So once you make it to be beyond you, not just looking at my, you're looking at another person. God takes care of the rest.
Yeah, that God factor is there.
God takes care.
Yeah, Missy, in your opinion, is marriage overrated?
It depends on who you're asking and on the time
I'm
of the
asking
day.
you.
So, yeah, I'm not married, but this is, and you learn from your own experience and other people's experience, right? I would say that it depends on your experience in the marriage. So for somebody who, she seems like somebody who is giving an example of why marriage isn't overrated, right? That it works. But I've also been surrounded by people who would tell you for free to think twice about it because their experiences have been horrible. I've seen friends who have lost themselves. I've seen people who used to be very happy, cheerful. I have a friend that is so talented and good at a lot of things. It only takes one bad marriage to mess you up.
Wow.
And it takes from you from everywhere. You can't think straight. You can't make sound decisions anymore. You lose yourself. So, whether good or bad, it isn't overrated, is my point.
Okay.
Because if he has the power to
Do that much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then it's not.
So it isn't overrated. And I think more people should understand understand what it means to be married.
Yeah.
Before it's not so I keep on saying that don't forget the I'm in love thing, which is what makes a lot of people think, okay, yes, it's beyond that.
Beyond that, trust me.
As a matter of fact, it's not it's a small fraction. You're going to believe. I think about it a lot. I'm like, you're going to be living your life with this person, running all your decisions by him, sharing the same space. Maybe you both snore, and no, but it's true. It's true. You know what? The benefit of being by yourself for so long makes you see so many things that you think you're going to be given. A lot of people don't have that benefit, I think. And you enter it and you are figuring it out there with that person. You need to be sure about that person you're going into it with.
Sure.
If not, which is why I say a lot of people just miss it. And they end. So it is either way, whether it's good or bad, it is not overrated.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who miss it too, it's not their fault. You know where we come from, the pressure. You know, the next somebody that looks like it, you know, you marry them. At the end of the day, when you now find yourself, you're like, okay, you know, it takes the grace of God. We can't remove God. And I always say, so we always say this is a no judge zone. We try to say it as is. If you feel like you missed it, it's not the end of the world. God helps you. If you're a Christian, God can help you. Otherwise, you can get counseling, get things. It doesn't define you too. If you have a failed marriage, it doesn't define you. Or, you know, you're struggling in marriage. It doesn't define you. Believe me, it happens to the best of us. Okay, so one more thing I want to emphasize is the society. Like I mentioned, the society sometimes makes you marry the wrong person. You know, because it's the next thing to do. Society, your auntie is pressuring you, your uncle is, even parents. Yemsi, I like the fact that you had a conversation with your mom, you know, and I remember I was going through a situation and my mom called me one day and I was like, Mom, do you think I don't know I'm in this situation? So when you call me and you're saying I'm not serious about it, if you are this worried, what about me? I'm going through this, you know. So Samira, what do you have to say? Societal pressure. What do you have to tell them?
If it's not your business, mind your business. Don't put pressure on people. Don't ask them why are you not married? Why don't you have kids? Same thing. Don't stress married women. Don't see a married woman looking happy. You're asking that, why is she looking so happy? Is she sure she's not? You know.
Why is your hair blonde?
Why is your hair? Like, my hair is blonde. Don't come and say, this one, your hair is. Are you sure you have not joined back, guy? No, the goal is to be happy. The goal is to feel
And be yourself.
fulfilled. Be yourself. Marriage doesn't have to change. Whether you're single or you're not married, be yourself. That is the goal.
Or they see you everywhere. They're like, is this one taking care of her kids? They don't know what arrangement you have. What's your business?
What works for A won't work for B.
You know?
Don't come and copy and say, oh, I heard Samira saying this. You don't know what works for me may not work for you. If you take what I've said and you go and apply it in your relationship, it may not
And
work.
that is such a true statement, you know? So, Yemisi, let me advise.
I mean, I think I'm on the same page with Samira on this. Like, people need to mind their business. People need to be respectful of boundaries. You can only pass an impression on what you see from the outside. You don't know what people are dealing with on the inside. So the best you can, if you feel really, 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 really strong about it, right? Maybe when you are praying, add them to your prayer list and pray for them.
Amen.
So until they come to you to say, this is what I'm going through, what do you think? Mind your business.
So, just 3 rules. Mind your business. Mind your business. Mind your business. Summary of it all. Please stop pressurizing women.
Yeah.
Please let them be who they are. All right? So it has been a beautiful time talking with you ladies. These 2 ladies intrigue me in different ways, and I'll let you know after here. Thank you so much. Thank you for dropping gems. I hope that somebody has been able to pick 1 or 2 things, even if it's one thing, right, from today's conversation. Please, if you have comments or you have opinions, share in the comment section. If you want to drop an anonymous message, my contact will be on screen, and I can even post it for you. If you need help, let us know. All right, please like, subscribe, share, and until next time on another episode of Life Couch with Fady.
Run free, life on the couch, stories we share, Fady's there.